All right, so man, I've just been really doing a lot of thinking here lately, and there's a big burden on our country. Um, we're struck with fear. We're struck with plots of anxiety, right down from government to people who should be having somewhat a fruit of self-control to the medical field, who seemingly seems to be inferior to this COVID-19. I'm not going to argue whether or not this thing's real or not. Um, I wanna share with you this. What happens to us when people offend us? Um, we can either we're gonna be hurt and we're gonna be wounded, and it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to deal with because sometimes when when um, when courts fail us, when police fail us, when mothers and fathers fail us, when all these safety nets that society has brought to us um, have have failed us, we sometimes tend to try to do things in our own way, and God don't give us the grace for that type of measure of battle. I, if someone offends me, I'm to forgive them. Now, listen, to the George Floyd family, my condolences to you guys. I know what it's like to lose loved ones. Um, I can't imagine what you guys are going through. I don't know what it's to be black, obviously. I don't know what it's like to grow up with the stereotype on me, but concerning race. But I do know what it's like growing up with a stereotype. Let me say that. 14 years in prison, two different states. Um, I'm tattooed up all over. My feet tattooed. My toes have tattoos on them. I mean, wherever I go, I'm somewhat judged by a certain type of people, whether it be church people, law and officials, or right down to my tax bracket. uh, I don't know what it's like to think that the police is gonna kill me or beat me up based on my color. I don't know what it's like to have that stereotype or that anxiety. Um, my condolences to you guys, but I'm gonna shoot you straight, man. No matter, no matter, no matter what takes place, I wish that the George Floyd family would continue with their voice of justice, be peaceful about it. That's a real test of integrity and character. It's really a test on you guys' behalf to the Floyd family, because there you have an option to have hatred and bitterness and hatred, excuse me, and or you can um, respond back with prayer, with lots of prayer, with lots of unity, with overcoming this stereotype that pursues black people and white people and whatever your color is, whatever however you dress, whatever you're doing. There's always going to be somebody that disapproves of you no matter what, because Jesus said in this life you're going to have trials and tribulations. The world hates you because they hated me first. Jesus said it. So, man, I would love to see the George Floyd family still stand strong for justice, still stand strong, but to have an inward peace, and to know within them that they're not hating, when they're doing this, that they're not bitter. Hey, check it out. When people offend you, man, when people have done wrong to you, all they've done is made you responsible. That's it. Whether it was just or unjust, whether it was something hurtful or however it's filtered, however it's labeled, when somebody does something wrong to you, they have enabled you and made you responsible to respond. And one thing that kills a fire is to not pour gasoline on it. Listen, 14 years in the penitentiary, 2 different states. For a long time, I had some real hardcore perspectives about police and how I used to watch them treat inmates in prison. And there were good ones too. And I would just like to promote this perspective, man. To the police officer in my past that I used to hate, which I don't hate no more. If my son was in dire need of an emergency, to where my hands couldn't produce security for him, or my hands wouldn't be able to save him. But if a police officer, to the one that I used to hate, if that police officer was at that circumstance, at that moment, I'm sure he would give his life to save my sons. And I'm almost certain that everyday police officers, whether they have deep roots of racism or hatred in their hearts, remains to be seen between them and God. Whether it be black officers against white people or white officers against black people, vice versa. But I'm sure that somewhere along the road, they've done some good for somebody and saved somebody's life that was opposite color of them. I'm sure somewhere along the road, they've prevented a lot of chaos from popping off that people don't even realize. It's kind of like that thing where you can count your blessings, that the ones that you know about, but it's more powerful to count the ones that you didn't know about, that God saved you through, that you ain't even got a clue about, and ain't a prophet around you got a clue about. There's police officers that are like that. And listen, Romans 13 speaks about the government and officials and people that's in the law, that God has placed them there. It doesn't mean that when they trespass and cross certain lines that they're not punished. Man, if they can be the uphander of upholding the law for us, then they've got to be held to a standard too. Okay, we get that. But you got to look back and think, man, how many times has the law saved lives? I bet you the law has saved more lives than they have taken lives. Listen, I don't want to get into this white-black thing, because at the end of the day, man, God is light. God is light. But we are to respect authorities. And if one of them treat me unjustly or do something unjust and messed up, guess what? They'll be held to the law, should be. And all they've done is made me a man who's got a wound that needs to take that wound to the throne of Jesus and let God minister to my wound. That can't no beer, can't no social club, can't no friend or family cater to. There's some deep things on the inside that sometimes we just need to let it out. And ain't no human ear good enough to hear it. But listen, on the thing of racism, man, let me use first part. If I hate you, if I speak about you behind your back or to your face, but I have a bitterness towards you, and it's because I embrace a stereotype, and I ain't never met you a day in my life, but I have some remark to say about you, or a slick look to you, or downgrade, or something non-encouraging, something that does not encourage love, but embraces the opposite of that. If I have that perspective towards you and I've never met you before, that means that my perspective about that person that I've never met or heard anything about is fake. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because how could I judge somebody that I've never met nor never experienced, but only can see from a distance based on their color? Then I'm living in a past. That means that I'm carrying something from my past, a past experience that ain't got nothing to do with this man, this woman, or this child. It's got something to do with a wound, and I can't even get to the person that offended me in my past. So the only thing I'm left with is a wound. What do you do? What do I do? Man, I can't go through life looking at this person and say because they're white or because they're black or heavy or skinny or got their hair curled or the hair permed or not permed or nails done or not no nails done or eating pimento cheese sandwiches or eating on some ribeye, whatever, man. I can't look at other people and call myself the truth when I'm judging somebody, or what I think I'm doing is judging, when I'm creating a platform to hate this person based on a past experience. When you talking about you living in the past, you living in the past. Jesus said, love your enemies. He said, you want to test your real love? Love somebody that ain't in your favor, that won't be able to pay you back, that's going to use you, talk crazy to you. Jesus said, that's when you're loving people. And it's amazing that Jesus also said, love your enemy as you love yourself. And sometimes it's not that you just don't got it, or you just can't get it, or you need to stay on this side of the fence and let them stay on that side of the fence, and you drink from this fountain or whatever, or separate yourself from all manner of people, because really it's not them. A lot of times that you've been told to love somebody, love your enemy as you love yourself, and you can't do it because guess what? You don't have revelation of who you are. So it's hard to love your enemy, much less those who do love you back and do pay you back and who are favorable from their eyes to you. A lot of times we've lacked revelation of how to love ourselves, and we can't no more give a consistent love. I ain't talking about a high five. I'm talking about a consistent love. Love doesn't fail. Broken bridges isn't love. Broken bridges do not offer opportunity to go any further. A broken bridge cannot be accessed, so therefore it fails. But love never fails. Love is consistent. Love is consistent. So you may be able to perk a smile, fix your lips to smile at somebody going down the road, but when it comes to somebody that knows you, that's around you a lot, what they saying about you? You might need to ask Jesus, man, who you are. Show him who you are. God, show me who I am, so I have revelation on how to love myself, so that I can love the next person in my life. You won't pick from the cupcakes and the delicacies. Man, get over there with somebody that can't stand you. Get over there with somebody that's talking crazy to you. Test your love. Test just how much Jesus you got on the inside. When they squeeze the apple, are they getting sewer water? Shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. You can't hate people based on a experience that you had in your past. That's irrelevant. That's inconclusive. That's totally it's fake. It's not even being real. Love somebody. If somebody offends you, love. They done made you responsible right off the bat. You ain't even asking for it. Jesus said, "Get ready. It was coming." They done told you some crazy stuff to your face. Love them. Easier said than done, but assuring that we can. I'm out, man. The law has saved more lives than they have taken. Let's give them a shot, man. And not the one that comes out of a shotgun. Let's give them a shot. You want to see people get better? Pray for them. Pray all that junk up out of them. Pray it. Pray it like your words is the words it's been waiting on to happen. And believe that God's ear in his hand is not too short to hear an answer. Love them, man. Love them even when it hurts. Love them. Love people. Love them. And God bless the George Floyd family. I've prayed with you and for you. I hope nothing was taken offensive in Jesus' name. Amen.